Hey, guy, I just heard something a few minutes ago and I thought to share with you guys. Now, a friend of mine was asking me that, Jeff, do you think bad fuel can spoil your engine? And I stopped for a second and I was like, mm, the truth is, the answer is yes. But some of you don't know how. I'll tell you in a second. Is it really true that if you buy bad fuel for your engine, it could damage your engine, like spoil your engine, knock your engine? Yes, the answer is absolutely yes. But the engineering behind it is what I want to explain to you. Just give me a second. Now, why does fuel affect your engine at all? After all, your engine basically just runs on fuel and air. But most importantly, most critically, it depends on your lubrication, your oil, to make the engine run efficiently. So, but why should fuel damage your engine? Good question, don't you think so? In fact, that's the essence of Altryton Automotive. We want to make it simple and basic to understand. So, but the thing to wonder about fuel is this. Now, for petrol-driven engines, your PMS, Premium Motor Spirit-driven engines, unlike for diesel, we'll talk about diesel in another video, but for petrol engines, what is more important is the quality of the fuel you use for your engines. What does that mean? Now, that simply means that to measure the quality of your fuel, you need to know what does that. And simply put, not to make this too academic, to know the quality of the fuel that your car is supposed to use is actually decided by something they call the octane number of your fuel. Now, the higher the octane number, the better the quality. However, when the octane number of your fuel is too high, it makes it also difficult for your engine to burn the fuel. Now, that's not even important to you. What's important is that when the octane rating of your fuel becomes too low, it becomes a problem. Now, why is that even a thing? Now, it takes us to a concept called knocking. Knocking. What does knocking mean? Like knocking. Well, to some extent, knocking is not like knocking on your door, but it somewhat looks the same. For engines, knocking simply means a kind of sound, an eruptive sound that actually happens when fuel burns prior to its supposed time. Now, let's break that down. That's too much grammar. It simply means fuel is supposed to burn inside your engine. Basically, how it works is your engine draws in fuel and air, and it sparks inside the engine, and then it burns, and that's what happens so many times in your engine and makes your engine run faster and efficient. However, all of this thing must happen at a specific time. That's why you hear of timing of the engine. Back to the issue of knocking. So when your engine draws in fuel and air mixture, there's a specific time while your engine is doing this that it's supposed to spark, and it ignites and burns, then transfers that motion to your engine. When that happens too quick, it causes problems in the engine. And what causes that is because of the poor octane number of the fuel you use in your engine. So if, for example, your engine is supposed to burn its fuel in 5 seconds and it does that in 4 seconds, it causes an eruption in your engine. It causes an unusual balance. And that sends a lot of shock waves down your engine. Now look at it. That knocking sound we talked about in the engine, it's very unusual, and it's not healthy for your engine. Now what happens is that when your engine travels up, when the piston inside your engine travels up, it is when combustion happens, like it sparks, it burns inside your engine. That's what makes the piston come downwards. So if your engine is supposed to burn fuel at the time the piston gets to the topmost, but before it even gets there, it burns. Instead of your piston to travel up, it's trying to force itself to go down when it has not even completed that motion. Now that is a lot of shock happening. Something is supposed to travel like upward fully, and it even goes halfway and it wants to start returning. That eruption, that disorder can cause problems in your engine. And when it happens too often than not, it can cause damage in your engine. And then you hear your engine is gone, your engine is damaged, you have a knocking sound, you have a problem. That's how bad fuel can do. If your petrol's octane number is very low, that's going to be happening more often than not. And one of the ways you know is that you think it's even difficult for you who's driving to know most times, but sometimes it shows in the performance of your engine. Your engine does not perform so well. It's stalling. It's not really at its best. That's one way. Secondly, because some of them can be so mild, it takes the computer of your vehicle to notice, observe, and flag that there's a problem with the kind of fuel you're using. It doesn't tell you, but sometimes it shows in the form of a malfunction light. sometimes you see it begins to trigger knock on your engine management system. So it shows that there's a fault somewhere and you need to troubleshoot, you need to check what the problem is. So in those cases, you may need to visit your professional technicians. So what can help you, or what can help to protect your engine in case you buy bad fuel? First thing, keep your eyes on the check engine light. That light that usually shows that there's a fault on your car when you're driving. When it shows, quickly have your technicians take a look at it. They could scan your car, they could check. You may see something related to your knock sensor, so it needs troubleshooting. It takes a professional to be able to narrow down what is the major cause of your knock flagging out on your malfunction indication light on your dashboard. When you do that, it can help you, or your technician can advise you how to sensitize your systems. By that means, you mean changing your fuel, doing other routine maintenance that can help reduce that fault. Because if you go on driving your vehicle without resolving those issues, you're just in for a long thing. The next thing that can happen is a knocking sound, just because of buying bad fuel. So you see, that's how we move from just buying bad fuel to replacing another engine. That's massive, guys.